Joe DiGenova is a former U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia, and he joins us now. I just want to state at the outset, Joe, he lied, say the news anchors. He lied, and he deserves whatever's coming to him. Assess that claim, if you would.
He did not lie, and in fact, the FBI knew it. Let's remember what this is about. This was a pretextual crime created by the FBI and by Sally Yates, the acting attorney general. Remember, after the election, Hillary Clinton needed a reason why she lost. Enter Russian collusion. Part of that was to find somebody in the administration to frame for talking to the Russians. They found General Flynn. But in fact, all of General Flynn's conversations with the Russian ambassador and everybody else were legal. So why did the FBI approach him? They knew what he said. They knew it was legal. The answer is they wanted to frame him, and they succeeded. And he did not tell them false information. Some of it may have been paused. It may have been nuanced. He did not lie. And indeed, the agents who actual 302s are available said he didn't lie. And it's interesting that Mueller did not turn over the original 302s to Judge Sullivan today. He turned over an interview of Agent Strzok, which was done months later by Mueller's people. The answer is Michael Flynn was framed in order to get at Donald Trump. Sally Yates, James Comey, Peter Strzok, Andy McCabe all planned it. What you are watching play out in an American courtroom is one of the most disgraceful events in American criminal justice, and everybody on Mueller's team should be ashamed of themselves, and none of them should ever be allowed to go back into the Department of Justice.
And any attorney who advised Michael Flynn to plead guilty to this, rather than going public with the frame-up that was happening to him, ought to be, I think, disbarred. Let me ask you, though, what do you make of the reaction to it? I think a lot of people watching, even this channel, pretty well-informed news consumers, are surprised to learn that the crime here, the only crime here, arises from that interview, the lawyerless interview in the White House. That Mike Flynn was never charged with colluding with anybody, including the Turks. You've heard all the speculation about how he's working for Erdogan. He was never charged with any of that, and yet he's totally been destroyed as a man. His family's been crushed. They're bankrupt. They had to sell their house on the basis of that one crime. Why doesn't anybody on any other network say, wait a second, could that be slightly disproportionate?
Well, Tucker, the people on the other networks and the people at the FBI at that time in the Department of Justice wanted one thing. They wanted to find a way to destroy Donald Trump because he wasn't supposed to be elected. But he beat them. And once they were beaten, they got angry. And then they got vindictive. And then they got vindictive by using the criminal justice system, weaponizing it. And John Brennan at the CIA and James Clapper followed through on their promised threat to figure out a way to get the people that they didn't want elected in order to make up for the fact that Hillary Clinton, had lost. This has become one of the greatest scandals in the history of our country, and the media is ignoring it. And it is truly important that what you are doing by focusing on these stories continue to be done until there's a new attorney general and there can be a grand jury to find out who was it that leaked the conversation of Michael Flynn with the Russian ambassador. That was a crime. The leak to David Ignatius of the Washington Post exposing General Flynn's conversation with the Russian ambassador was a crime. And the question tonight is, why isn't that crime being investigated?
Because everyone in Washington is deeply invested in our failed foreign policy, and anybody who suggests changing the foreign policy that they're deeply invested in and get rich from gets crushed, as you know. Joe DiGenova, thank you.
Thank you.